welcome to Legally Speaking with me, Tarun Nangia. The Delhi High Court has attracted the best and the brightest talent from all across India. You can see that in the elevations to the Delhi High Court, not now, even earlier. And now time has come again that the Collegium has recommended 5 names for elevation to the Delhi High Court. And as usual, the list is a stellar one. How will Delhi High Court benefit? Because if you remember in one of our last shows, we had said that the vacancy of judges there is as high as 50%. So 5 more new people is like a breath of fresh air. And how it will help things, this is what we are going to, in a sense, discuss today. I have an eminent panel to do the opening of the show and then a panel that will discuss the issue. May I introduce you to Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, eminent jurist, a third-time sitting member of Parliament, and who's also served as ASG. He is a familiar face on Legally Speaking, and he's been kind enough to join us today. I have with me Justice Arjun Kumar Sikri, eminent jurist, served as a judge of the Supreme Court of India, is a judge in the Singapore International Commercial Court, and now overall I can say he is one of the best known arbitrators we have in this country today. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Now we begin with Dr. Singhvi. My first, in a sense, laying the ground question to you is, when you heard this news that the Collegium has recommended these 5 names and that we are going to get 5 more new judges in the High Court, of course, the pendency will get better in a sense, that situation, and some fine names there. So what is your initial reaction to this news as you read it the other day?
Tarun, we are talking of limited time, so let me get straight to the point. My reaction obviously was one of happiness and positivity, but actually equally a reaction was many years earlier or many months earlier of surprise, if not shock, as to why these names had not gone through and sailed through in the first time. So it's a very strange contrast. Delhi High Court, let me tell you, and I can say this with greater certainty than the defectors from the bar like Justice Sikri, who left many years ago and went to the bench. We appear in all high courts. Judges don't appear in high courts. So Delhi High Court, let me tell you, in comparison to all the high courts I appear in, is an outstanding high court. The registry, the procedure, and in comparison to the kind of things which you see in a lot of other high courts where things don't get listed, Delhi High Court's manpower material, its work, its dynamism is great. In that context, to have something like, I don't know the latest figure, 28 functioning and 60 the total strength, is something which is a no-brainer. You cannot talk of arrears. You cannot talk of hospitals with buildings and equipment without doctors. You cannot talk of arrears disposal without judges. So I think we have not to look for some unknown idealistic perfection. We have not to indulge in politics. We do not have to look at origins and connections which are of no relevance. These are names, and it's invidious to take names, and there is no question of taking names, but this is a batch, let me say, along with certain others who have adorned the bench, and certainly Justice Sikri is one of them many, many decades earlier, who should have been appointed straight away at one shot without any delay. And how will you fill up 60 vacancies if you keep on delaying like this and nitpicking? If you cannot find these good enough, then I don't know how many years are you going to take to fill up these 60 vacancies.
Point very well taken. As usual, in a sense, frank and to the point. That is what Dr. Singhvi is for you. I have with me Justice Arjun Kumar Sikri. Sir, on the same question, you've served in that High Court before, and you have in a sense mentored many of the young judges there. You know how it functions. Did this news come as a breath of fresh air? I mean, the vacancy was 50%, so it was a cause of worry also.
Definitely, Tarun, any such news that there are going to be new appointments of other appointments is a welcome move. As Dr. Abhishek Singhvi has rightly pointed out, why it didn't happen in the first instance itself. Unfortunately, for quite some time, we find that when the day from which the names are sent, say by the High Court Collegium recommended, and by the time they are appointed, it is consuming lot of time. And if you know that the Supreme Court has also taken up the matter on judicial side, uh, 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 trying to persuade, trying to coerce, trying to tell these, give a clear message to the government that the process should not consume more time. And as Abhishek has rightly mentioned about the significance of Delhi High Court when it comes to, of course, as I said, this process that it should, and even as per the judge's judgment, in the judge's case, it all has to be completed within a period of 4 to 6 months. But then sometimes it takes 1 year, sometimes even more than that. And here, unfortunately, the names were earlier not even cleared and sent. Only 2 names out of so many names which were sent earlier were cleared. And although I also can say that we don't know the reasons, but yes, being a part of judiciary at one point of time, I can smell the reasons as well. And therefore, I would commend the collegium, that collegium has sent these names all over again. And so 2 aspects on which I would commend the collegium. Number one, that reiteration of these names, and therefore sending the message to the government that, look, the names should have been cleared in the first instance itself. And another person who is cleared along with that, whose name was pending, I'm talking of Mr. Saurabh Kripal, for unnecessary reason, this was not cleared even by the Supreme Court. Here I can't blame the government, and even the Supreme Court did not clear for last number of years. That has happened. So for that reason, I commend the collegium of the Supreme Court in taking this step. And as Abhishek rightly mentioned, when we discuss about Delhi High Court, it's a premier high court. And it is for various reasons. Today, the nature of litigation, it being in the capital city, where parliament is there, where central government is there, all kinds of important constitutional issues come before it. It is known as mini Supreme Court in a way. Many people call it mini Supreme Court because of the importance of issues. And the issues don't, and even the issues relating to administrative, which we say under the administrative law, because of various significant policy decisions which are taken. And of late, although Bombay is treated as a commercial capital, but the commercial matters, including international taxation matters, international arbitration matters, all are coming to Delhi High Court. So therefore, we need good judges. In comparison, I would say, when we compare Delhi with other high courts, and particularly Bombay High Court, I've seen many good lawyers in Bombay. They don't want to become judges. But in Delhi, there are still many very, very good lawyers, good brains who are willing to come forward. And even when they come forward, and if this is the process which consumes so much time, it is to some extent a dampener as well. So therefore, some remedial measures are needed. Having said so, that's a larger question. But yes, it's a welcome move. Names are good. And as it has been happening for last 20-25 years, that good judges, good persons, or good advocates are appointed as judges. And that is why Delhi High Court has become #1 high court in the country, and it should continue. That is what I feel. And I would only say one thing. There are, I think, 6 or 7 names of subordinate judicial officers from subordinate judiciary, which are recommended by the High Court, and the government has not even sent those names to the Supreme Court so far. It is also necessary to clear those, because we need judges in full strength. As Abhishek has rightly mentioned, we can't have hospitals without doctors.
Now I have a panel that continues the discussion with, I have a representative from every age group, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, age, experience, all of that is encompassing in this panel. And may I request Senior Advocate Pinky Anand to open with her comment on this decision and what she feels about it and what it bodes for the Delhi High Court. After a long time, these appointments are slated to happen.
Tarun, in fact, it has been indeed delightful when one read about the collegium recommending the names of the 5 judges to the Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court has had substantial vacancies and has been functioning on less than full strength for a considerably long time. these names were pending and pending for the last almost a couple of years. So, when you see the judges being appointed, and indeed judges of repute, credit and merit, all the other appointments, incidentally, have also been very, very fine in the Delhi High Court, I must say so. And when we speak about this, I'll tell you one more reason. The way recently there have been appointments across the board, across the country, has been phenomenal. We've had vacancies being filled up in almost every high court, and the Supreme Court has functioned so efficiently at this point of time that we are literally clapping our hands in glee to say what needed to be done has been done, indeed, in a swift and expeditious manner. And of course, the question of women judges also is another feature that has figured in this conversation. In the current references and the recommendations also for the Delhi High Court, we have present time, since the government has to confirm definitely the information, I think, which has been pending consideration for a long enough time. It is a landmark situation, historical for us, if that happens. The fact that a person, despite, I don't know how the right word would be, but and the fact that this bias has been offset by this recommendation, I think is one of the most commendable features. And our country has been standing out for rights as far as gay rights are concerned, as far as LGBT rights are concerned. So it is move forward in every possible direction. And we hope that this entire situation will come to a rest as quickly as possible. There are some other recommendations also pending, not only in Delhi, but across other parts of the country. And we equally much hope, because the reason that we have problem with judicial discipline, we might say, or judicial dispensation, is because there are vacancies, and there are substantial vacancies. As soon as we can make up for those, definitely we will be making a step in the right direction.
Okay, thanks for sharing that views. And of course, about Saurabh Kirpal, whom was pending for a long time, but finally we went through. That was good news. I'll go to Senior Advocate Gopal Jain, who will share his views on this important issue and this good news of Delhi getting 5 more judges.
Yes, I think the Chief Justice of India and the Collegium of the Supreme Court have acted with lightning speed over the last 3 or 4 months, which has brought a sense of purpose and momentum, not just in the Supreme Court, but in all high courts. And now with these recommendations, the Delhi High Court. I think the key takeaway always is, when you have a full house, full steam, there's a sense of momentum which comes. And Delhi High Court over the years has been one of the top high courts in the country. And the variety of work in the Delhi High Court requires, and the caseload, which comes by being in Delhi and, like a magnet drawing a lot more cases than some of the other high courts, you require a large number of judges to deal with that in an efficient manner. 3, I think, picking the kind of recommendations, the names that we've seen, which have been reported, will also bring a lot of diversity as well as different kind of experience. And with the kind of cases, as in the nature of disputes which are coming, have also changed over a period of time, because you have a lot more new legislations which have come. So bringing in this kind of experience from the bar will not just help in terms of disposal, but also in terms of quality of decision making which comes. And I think most importantly, the High Court in the capital of India must always work largely at full strength. And the whole purpose of having numbers prescribed is to look at the fact that there will be that kind of need. So you should never have a gap. And therefore, it's very important to have a pipeline. And I can draw an analogy from what the new coach of the Indian cricket team has said, that he has to constantly have a ready stream so that you have fresh pair of eyes, legs, minds, etc. So I think this is a very important turning point, but equally it's a takeaway that there must be a deep study of the number of vacancies, and recommendations must keep pace with the gaps and vacancies so that we don't have catch up as we had to do this time. And lastly, I think most importantly, this will add a lot of efficiency, and stakeholders, particularly litigants who had to wait for a long period of time because cases were not getting listed. I think for them, it's a great sense of hope. And even for judges who are working at 50% of strength or somewhere in that vicinity, I think it's always good to have more colleagues. It brings freshness, and some of the litigation fatigue which may have come from virtual hearings goes away. So overall, it's extremely positive, and I hope Delhi High Court continues to take the lead as it has done over a period of time.
Thanks for sharing this view. But even after these 5 appointments, I think we have a long way to go before we actually hit our target of 100% innocence appointments. We will have to see if those happen during Justice Ramana's tenure. That's one thing. I'll go to Tahira Karanjawala at this point. Now, yours is a law firm that's one of India's leading law firms. You have a lot of these matters listed in the High Court. And of course, if there are not a lot of judges, then of course matters do get delayed. So as a law firm, of course, this is another good news for you. More judges in Delhi High Court, that's where primarily your law firm operates, is another good news. How do you look at this?
Thank you, Tarun. So I completely agree with Pinky ma'am and Gopal sir that this is a very welcome move. So you see, in a country as large as ours, the only way to tackle pendency of cases in the long run is to appoint more judges. In addition to having a huge population, we also have a legal system which has multiple layers of appeal. So this pendency of cases is a natural consequence of the way our legal system has been structured. It's been loosely based on the English system, which was actually envisaged for a much smaller population. So to deal with pendency of cases, we have to ensure that all the high courts function at full strength. At the moment, I think there is a 42% vacancy across high courts even till today. And even after these 5 judges are confirmed, you will still have 10 more permanent judges in the Delhi High Court who can be appointed. So I think it's very important, the initiative that has been taken, continue, and all the courts function at full strength. Because, I mean, as you said, our law firm, of course, appears a lot in the Delhi High Court, and yes, you get dates after many months. But that is, I mean, it's just a natural product of the overloading of the system. Each of these judges is handling 50 to 60 cases a day. So it is practically impossible, to expect them to work any harder. So this is a very welcome move, and I hope that it continues in the long run. And as you said, I hope that in Justice Ramana's tenure, we can have a larger number of judges appointed to the Delhi High Court and to other high courts, of course.
Okay. Thanks for those inputs. I'll go to Abhimanyu Bhandari at this point. Abhimanyu, you practice at the Delhi High Court and the Supreme Court. When you read this news of 5 more new judges being appointed, what are your initial reactions to this news?
No, the initial reaction, like everybody was, it was very good. Very happy to see that some names were reiterated. And it's very good, the whole and as Gopal Jain has rightly said, that there is this whole momentum that picks up, and Delhi High Court, as everybody agrees, attracts the best talent. Some lawyers give up lucrative practices to consider a career as a judge, and they accept a career as a judge. We've had judges in the Delhi High Court who were top of company law practice. We've had High Court judges who were best criminal lawyers before they became judges in Delhi High Court. So I think Delhi High Court continues to attract the best talent. But all this is very good. But we need to, there are certain shortcomings that we really need to think about. If we want a system which will attract the best talent, that means a lawyer who's doing well, who knows the law, to apply for becoming a judge and is happy to become a judge, then we need to ensure that the system has to move quickly. This whole episode has shown that some very bright lawyers who would be top of their practice were told that, look, you're going to become a judge. So they give up their name. The minute they give up their name, it becomes public that High Court has sent the name to Supreme Court. Everybody knows that, okay, these names have gone. Then what happens is that a lot of clients might start thinking that, oh, he's becoming a judge or she's going to become a judge, so let's go to someone else. Even if that person is top of the practice in, let's say, corporate law, company law, criminal law, whatever, let's go somewhere else because now they're going to become a judge. Now, Supreme Court clears those names, and then it's one feels that, it's a matter of any day when you will become a judge. And then if the government sits on that file for not days, but for months, just imagine what that professional must be going through in his life, how much stress you would have caused that person, because he doesn't know, am I going to become a judge tomorrow? Will the warrant be issued in the next 10 days? In the next 1 month? Do I continue appearing in the Delhi High Court? Do I take up new cases? What do I do? So that person, that professional is left neither here nor there. So imagine, would any individual who has a good legal practice like to succumb himself or subject himself to this trauma, which can extend for a year, which can extend for a large number of months? Many of these professionals, this must be bread and butter for them, for their children, to pay for their school fees. So what I'm saying is that, we need to, if we want that the best and the brightest apply. And that has been the long tradition of Delhi High Court. I am not from Delhi. I moved to Delhi 10 years back, and I'm so grateful that, I get to practice in the Delhi High Court, because I've never even once felt that, when I moved into Delhi, that I was not a Delhiite. The kind of warmthness you get from the bar and from the bench, and and all that matters is merit. You want that the system should continue to progress and grow. So we now need to ensure that some guidelines are put in, that once a high court has recommended the names, within 60 days, that file has to be cleared from the Supreme Court and then from the Ministry of Law and Justice. So that warrant is issued within a period of time. Or it's if Supreme Court rejects it, that it's over. Or if government wants to reiterate it, they have to do it within, let's say, 10 days or 7 days of Supreme Court referring it back. And then there is a time period by when Supreme Court should reiterate if they want to, or decide on whatever feedback they get from the government. But there needs to be this certain timeline put in, so that files, no one can just sit on a file, because that can cause, I would have supposed, a huge amount of trauma on any professional's life and mind.
That's a good point. Specifically, the timeline that Abhimanyu raised of 60 days, I think we should take that up in one of the episodes, because this 1 and 2 years is just too much. It ought to be raised in a much more vocal manner, I think, by lawyers as well as people in the judiciary themselves. Secondly, one good point that I felt before going to Shashank Garg on this issue is that I myself was speaking to a young lawyer in his late 30s who's practicing, has a good practice in Delhi High Court. He's from the south of Vindhyas. He tells me that the kind of success he achieved in Delhi, it would have been very difficult to get it so early in the High Court of his home state. I won't name it, but when he admitted this to me, I realized how much people value the Delhi High Court. A lot of young lawyers also. I'll go to Shashank Garg at this point. Shashank, you practice at the Delhi High Court. What this news means for you? 5 more judges, and it's happening. And I think in Justice Ramana's time, these appointments are happening really fast.
Arun, first of all, I would like to join my co-panelists in celebrating this decision of the collegium. But I also agree fully with Abhimanyu when he says that the process needs to be streamlined, because the time taken sometimes just takes away the luster of this entire celebration that we are doing today. But in terms of Delhi High Court being one of the foremost courts of this country, in terms of the jurisprudence that has been created by Delhi High Court, and if you look at the IP division and commercial division especially, the judgments that come out of Delhi High Court are not just being quoted across the country, but also abroad very frequently, especially in the arbitration world and the intellectual property rights world. So what we are looking at is that Delhi High Court really is a symbol. When we talk about India and Indian judges, everybody looks at Delhi High Court as an example. So when the judges are being nominated, when this collegium takes into account all the relevant factors, nominating these some of the finest minds, as my co-panelist said, all these factors are also taken into account. And as Mr. Jain also pointed out, there are newer laws, there are newer amendments in various commercial laws, and younger judges who've been practicing so far will bring that sort of a fresh perspective when they don the hat of a judge. And as a duty, I think, why some of our finest talent is accepting judgeship is because it's a divine duty, and what comes with it is the sense of achievement and sense of responsibility that you've been able to contribute effectively to the society, and not just on the commercial side, but also on the civil and criminal justice side. So I think it's a very, very welcome step, and we hope that we've been hearing more names have gone. We hope that is true. And if that is true, what Abhimanyu has said, that it should not take as long as it has taken for some of these names, and we see more and more judges get appointed in due course.
Okay, thanks for these interventions. Today, I remember at the Delhi High Court, the last we did was on Justice Hema Kohli when she was elevated as Chief Justice. Now she's in the Supreme Court. I remember, I think Pinky Anand and Gopal Jain were kind enough to join us on that show that time. So Delhi High Court, we've been getting more than enough opportunities, but especially in Justice Ramana's time. We should be thankful to him that we get these opportunities often when appointments are happening. There was a time.
He was also the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court.
Yes.
Supreme Court. So he's fully cognizant of the lawyers and the bench, as well as the functioning of that court. So we should really doff our hat to him to sort of add 5 more names and hopefully more.
And hopefully more. I would like to thank you, Mr. Gopal Jain, Senior Advocate Pinky Anand, Tahira Karanjawala from Karanjawala and Company, Advocate Abhimanyu Bhandari, Advocate Shashank Garg for sparing your time and joining us on this very important issue. As usual, we will continue to take up these relevant issues, especially related to appointments. And of course, I got one new point today that was on the time limit, which the government must itself decide where it wants to go. Either way, it must go. But this lagging, which was highlighted on the show today, must not happen. We will take it up on Legally Speaking. Thank you, viewers, and thank you, my guests, for joining today. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.